Hi guys, Midwest Outdoorsman here with another video. This time I wanted to do a video about a rifle battery or a collection of rifles that a person would need to hunt pretty much anything, anywhere. A lot of people have their own ideas on stuff. This is just going to be my take on it. A lot of people like having just every kind of specialized rifle for every situation, which is great. I wish we all had the money to do that. A lot of us don't. So, a lot of our rifles need to do double duty as other things. And just wanted to take you through what I think are great selections that will do all these jobs well, and you can get a lot of use out of them, and they're not going to be guns that are going to be sitting in the safe. You're not going to have 20 guns in a safe and only use 2 of them. These are guns that they each have specific tasks. They're going to do those tasks well, and you're going to get a lot of use out of them, and you're not going to have any one gun that's going to be laying around. So what we'll start with is the really small caliber cartridges first, and this is right here, 22 long rifle. It's the most prolific cartridge I think in the U.S. And especially with the cost of ammunition now, it's certainly the cheapest to shoot. Obviously, great low recoiling, great for training young kids, great for practicing if you develop a flinch, or even just to polish your shooting skills without having to pay all the premium for all the ammo of all the higher dollar cartridges. Great for small game hunting. Just all around great package. And this is my favorite 22. It's a Marlin 795 semi-automatic. Has a 18.5-inch barrel, I believe. It could be 20, but it's somewhere between 18.5 and 20. Standard. This is just a stock gun. I haven't done anything to it other than, if you can see here, I painted the front sight orange. It was just I think it was white maybe or something, but I got some fluorescent paint and I painted it because then when you're looking down the barrel there, you can really pick that up, especially doing rabbit hunting or something like that. I think it makes a difference, and then I just leave the rear sight stock. You could put the orange and then put I was maybe going to put like a white outline around the notch in the open sights so you can pick it up a little bit faster. Just a little modification I like to do. I do a lot of rabbit hunting, and helps me pick up the front sight faster. I don't have a scope on this right now. You can see it's just plain bare bones, but I would recommend getting it's my phone there. I would recommend getting a scope with detachable mounts, with quick detachable mounts for your 22, because for things like squirrels or groundhogs or whatever, like the smaller stuff, it's probably good to have a scope, up in the trees. You don't need it, but especially for squirrel hunting and stuff, it is better. It makes a difference. So I would recommend you get a scope. It depends if you want to use the scope for rabbit hunting and stuff. I don't recommend it because hard to see them when they're moving fast. But I would say somewhere in the range of a 2 to 7, 3 to 9, 2 to 10. You can even go up higher if you want 12, 14s. But something like that's going to do good for for target practice, and also for squirrel hunting, or if you're doing other kind of small game hunting, for game that you want to eat at relatively close range. I would say under 150 yards for sure, more like under 100 yards for the 22 long rifle. You could jump up to a 22 Magnum if you want a little bit more range, but I would definitely want a rimfire cartridge in 22 caliber, either the 22 long rifle or the 22 mag, for purposes of practice, purposes of training, small game hunting, and training young kids, all that kind of stuff. And this is what I choose, the Marlin 795. It's hardly ever jams on me. Cheap. I think I paid $150 for it at Fleet Farm. Works really well. Fits me like a glove. The Ruger 10/22 is another great choice. That's a good gun. Doesn't fit me quite as well. I have 2 of them, but this gun fits me better, so I usually hunt with this one. And so that's kind of the 22 class for the battery, the really small stuff for small game hunting and whatnot. And now I jump up to the intermediate class, I guess I would call it. And this is an AR for me, no question, no, hands down, because it does double duty. Like I said, a lot of people don't have money, especially these days, to be buying all different kinds of rifles for all different kinds of stuff. And so an AR to me is the perfect platform for your intermediate rifle, for doing stuff like self-defense. Obviously, it's perfect for that, and also for hunting coyotes, foxes, woodchucks, groundhogs, prairie dogs, varmint, all that kind of stuff. Just shooting for fun too is good. Ammunition's a lot more expensive, obviously, than 22 nowadays. I have this set up with a Comp ML3 Aimpoint red dot sight because it's set up for defense. But I don't have it yet. But what I'm going to be doing is getting a LaRue SPR mount, lever mount, and I'm going to be getting a Nikon Pro Staff 5 3.5 to 14 mil dot rifle scopes that I can quick detach, swap out on here for hunting coyotes and that kind of thing. Just don't have it yet for the money, but that way I can have the best of both worlds. I can have a hunting setup and I can have a defense setup, and swap them out real, with just a flip of a lever. And this is, I have a whole video on ARs if you want to check out the specs and all the stuff that's on this and the weights and all that stuff. I'm not going to really get into that, but just I think that the AR-15 is a perfect intermediate rifle, especially for varmints and stuff. You're going to be able to have a 30-round magazine in here, so you can shoot a lot of times without having to reload. Great triggers and stuff. Great for defense. Great for hunting. In that area, you can actually hunt deer with it if you want. I wouldn't recommend it. You can do it obviously if you use like a Barnes Triple Shock or something, like a really tough bullet, and you're not shooting long distances. It can be done, but I would recommend going up, obviously, in caliber for big game hunting. But very versatile rifle, and it's certainly a nice step up from this, and it fills, like I said, more niches than just being a fun rifle to shoot. It's a defense rifle. It hunts. I do coyote hunting and stuff in the winter in Wisconsin. It does that. It does it really, really well. All the things that I need that class of rifle to do, it does it well, and it fills a niche that this rifle cannot fill. And then after that, you jump up to the big game class of rifle. And for me, that's a bolt action, no questions asked. And I have this here. This is my Browning X-Bolt in 300 WSM. I have a whole video on this rifle as well, if you want to check that out about the specs, and I have a video about big game cartridges and all that stuff. But so we got I'd say the small bore class, like the small game class, training kids, fun class, or whatever you want to call it. The intermediate for defense and also hunting, things like coyotes and that kind of stuff. And then we have the big game class, which is all big game, all non-dangerous big game, I'll say. So I'm talking anything from if you're going to Africa, dik and duiker, or in the U.S., Coues deer, antelope, whitetail, all the way up to elk, moose, even some bears. In Africa, you're talking bigger animals yet: kudu, roan, sable, wildebeest, eland even. You want a gun that can handle all of that big game. For me, anyway, for me personally, with this battery, if you're not going to have all different kinds of rifles for every situation, you want a gun that can handle all of it. You want a gun that's lightweight. You want a gun that's accurate. All that stuff. I had, like I said, videos on the cartridges and the rifle itself. But for me, I choose a scoped bolt action rifle in the 300 WSM caliber, and this is a Browning X-Bolt. That's the rifle that I like. And I would say get a lightweight rifle that is, without a scope, anything on it, under 7 pounds for sure, fully set up under 8 pounds for sure, in a cartridge that will not just do the job, but do it well, all the jobs on all those non-dangerous species. And that's a personal choice, and you can watch my other videos if you want, if you need some more information on that or thinking about it. But like I said, so you got the small game, defense, and varmint, and that kind of class. Then this is all non-dangerous big game. Every single non-dangerous game now, and this will do it. It'll do it well. And then I also have up here a 12-gauge shotgun. As kind of a side note, it's a weapon that I need in my arsenal. This is a Benelli Super Black Eagle that I've carried for years and years and years. You can see the paint's wore off. Carried it so much. Shot tons of ducks with it, turkeys, you name it. For me, that it's not a rifle, obviously, but it fulfills a need for hunting that none of these other can fill. It's a shotgun, and for me, I believe you only need one shotgun. I don't think you need a 410, a 20 gauge, a 12 gauge, an over under, all that stuff. I mean, it's great if you can afford it and if you can go crazy, but for the guy that doesn't have all that money or just wants the simple battery that will cover everything, I say get a 12 gauge semi-automatic shotgun with a barrel that is about 26 inches long. I say get a camouflaged one. I really like Benelli's. That's a personal preference. I don't have a shotgun video yet. I'll do one on that later, why I like this gun and everything. But so I would say definitely get 12 gauge over the 20 or the 410. You can do all of those jobs with the 12 gauge and do them well, just depending on what load you feed it. And so that covers the shotgun. Let's kind of gloss over that quickly. Like I said, I'll do another video on that later. But so now we've got our 22 small game, intermediate defense, all non-dangerous big game with this rifle. The shotgun that'll handle all of our shotgun needs, waterfowl, any kind of bird hunting you can think of. It'll do it. It'll do it well. And the one gun I don't have here right now, there's not room on the tail wells because I don't have it right now, is your dangerous game rifle. And if you don't ever hunt dangerous game, you can just keep these rifles and you'll be set. A 22 long rifle or 22 Magnum, an AR-15 of some sort with set up for with some kind of optic for close combat, and also a scope for hunting. Or you could even, like I have backup iron sights on here, you could use that for your defense if you want to save more money, and then just get a detachable scope. So you have the iron sights for defense and then the scope on here. Even save more money, even be more cost effective that way. And if you're not going to hunt dangerous game, this rifle will hunt everything in the world, even some dangerous game. But this 300 WSM, nice lightweight rifle, you can carry it all day. It'll hunt everything on the face of the planet, and I mean, it'll kill an elephant if you want it to. Just like I wouldn't use it for that. It's not what it's designed for. But I'm just saying, if you're not hunting any dangerous game, then this is all you need right here. You don't need anything else. A 12 gauge semi-auto, a bolt-action hunting rifle, and a 300. I would say more likely 300 WSM for me personally. An AR-15, 22 long rifle, or 22 Magnum. You could flex that in there, depending on what you want. And I mean, that'll handle that. Just think about that for a second. A lot of guys, including myself, I used to have a lot more rifles than I do now, and I scaled down my collection because a lot of them weren't getting used. And I like to tinker with stuff and buy and trade, especially when I was a little bit younger. I'm not super old. I'm 30 now, but now that I have children and stuff, I don't have a lot of extra money to like I did when I was single and everything, to go out and buy all different kinds of rifles and trade them up and do all this stuff. I've already kind of done all my development. I kind of know what I like. I know what works as far as calibers and stuff goes, and this system for me has worked, and this is what I keep coming back to. And I know that you don't need a ton of different rifles, and if I was rich, of course I would have tons of them because I love guns and I love messing with them, but I'm not. So this is what I have, and this is what works for me, and I can handle any game on the planet with in any situation with these weapons. I can hunt rabbits, I can hunt elk, I can hunt out west, I can hunt in Wisconsin, I can use this for defense, I can hunt coyotes, I can hunt prairie dogs out west, I can shoot waterfowl, any game that you can think of, these guns will handle it, except for dangerous game. Getting back to that, I have had 3 different 375s. I ended up trading them off or selling them. I have another one on order. It's a 375 Ruger guide gun. I love that gun. That's why I ordered it. 20-inch barrel, chambered to a 375 Ruger cartridge. For dangerous game, I personally think if you're not a professional hunter or a guide, 375 or 416 class is the perfect class for your dangerous game. Once I get that gun and stuff, I'll do another video on it, and I'll tell you kind of more about the dangerous game. But that would be the only other rifle that I would, fit above this here in my battery. So you would have, 1, 2, 3, 4 rifles, 4 projectile, whatever you want to call them, shooting weapons, and then your shotgun. And that will handle every situation you can come across, because then you add in the dangerous game, then you can, even this 300 will kill any grizzly on the planet and stuff like that, but I would much rather go hunting with a 375 for brown bear, grizzly, or something like that. And then if you ever do want to go to Africa and hunt buffalo or whatever, some countries have a 375 minimum for eland. lion, that kind of thing. So you're going to need a gun like that if you're going to do those kind of hunting. But if you don't ever plan on doing that, this battery here will take care of you. It'll do all these jobs. It'll do everything you can think of well. Um, and those are my personal choices. And like I said, if you want to know more about each of them, I'll kind of break it down into subcategories. I haven't done a 22 video yet. I'll kind of get into that later. I'll make another video when I have time. But yeah, and like I said, if I had the dangerous game gun in 375, you can use a 416. For me, they're more versatile than the 45 calibers, like the 458 Winchester Magnum or the 458 Lot. To me, those guns, they're fantastic. But for what they are, they're more short-range professional hunter and guide guns, in my opinion. They're not as versatile. They don't shoot as far as effectively. They're more for stopping animals that have been wounded. Close up, making sure that you don't get hurt. For me, as a hunter, if you're going to go with a guide or even on your own or whatever, I think a 375 or 416 has got more range. It's going to be more versatile for you for dangerous game. I'll get into that more when I have my 375 and stuff. But so that's my rifle battery that I think would work for anyone on the planet to hunt any game, anywhere, anytime, in any situation. For me, as you can see, this rifle is a blued rifle with a wood stock. That's only because Browning doesn't offer a really high quality synthetic stock at this time. If they do, or if some aftermarket company does finally, I'm going to swap this out to a really high quality, like a Kevlar. I hope Macmillan sometimes starts to make one, synthetic stock, and then I'll have this coated with black nitride. So it's all weather, because I greatly favor all weather stocks and coatings over wood. Wood's beautiful, it feels good, but for me, all weather stuff is more utilitarian. You can use it in hot and regular conditions, but if the weather gets nasty, like Wisconsin it rains, or if you go up to Alaska, if you're going to travel with these guns, I would definitely recommend getting a high quality synthetic stock and stainless steel and or coated with something like black nitride, Cerakote, etc. Because those are going to work better for you. And you can handle any situation for any kind of animal on the planet with these rifles and this kind of battery. But just to break it down more into class of cartridges, I would say get a rimfire, either 22 rimfire, just a regular long rifle, or 22 Magnum. Those would be that class. Get a small bore class, AR-15 or semi-automatic, and I'd say 223, 204 Ruger, something like. I think the 223 is the best because the ammunition is so available. Well, nothing is available these days, but it's way more available than like a 204 Ruger that you can buy in bulk, that kind of thing. I think the 223 Remington is the best choice out of all that class, and you can flex it in, like I said, to the defense role and stuff easily. And then as far as the big game, I would say 30 caliber for sure. I would say 300s, and out of the 300s, I picked the 300 WSM as my favorite. 300 Winchester Magnum is good. 300 Remington Ultra Mag is good. But those guns, you got to remember, are going to have longer actions, need longer barrels to perform the way they're designed. This gun, you can use a short action, has a 23-inch barrel, gets every bit of velocity that a regular full-length 300 Winchester Magnum does. So I would say 22 rimfire, 22 centerfire, 30 caliber of some sort, preferably a 300 Magnum, a short action 300 Magnum, and like I said, I would choose the WSM. It's got more ammo availability than all the other 300s, except for the regular 300 Winchester Magnum. But like I said, short action, handier rifle, lighter, that kind of thing. And then a 12 gauge shotgun, semi-automatic, with about a 26-inch barrel. It's a good compromise for being maneuverable, for doing like turkey hunts, or if you're going to go rabbit hunting with your shotgun or something like that. And also, as far as bird hunting, it's long enough to still be effective, to have a good sight picture and that kind of thing. And then for your dangerous game, I would say 375 to 416 class. I love the 375 Ruger because it's a shorter action than like the 375 H&H or 416 Rigby class cartridges. And as far as your 416s, I like the 416 Remington. That's probably my favorite 416. But that's a dangerous game rifle, and if you're not gonna hunt dangerous game, then you can just throw that away. You don't even need that. These guns will work for you. But if you're gonna hunt dangerous game or large bears in Alaska or something like that, or even just black bears, if you feel a little bit better with the extra insurance of having that bigger caliber, and maybe like with the guide gun that I'm going to be getting with a 20-inch barrel, more maneuverable. can go that route too, because that's what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, that's the classes that I would say as far as the cartridges and what you can use them for, and you can hunt anything on the planet with them. And any questions or comments, go ahead and ask or whatever. But after all the experience I've had, all the animals I've shot, all the hunting I've done, and all the areas that I've done, you know, these are the guns and the caliber classes that I think mate nicely to make a perfect battery for any kind of hunting anywhere. And you can check out the individual videos on and the aspects of each thing, or what I choose and why on each individual gun. And I'll try to crank out more videos if I don't have them on, like I know I don't have one on the 22 or the 12 gauge yet, but I know I have one on my AR, and I know I have one on the 300. So hopefully this helps anyone looking for that kind of thing. If you're looking to scale down your collection, you're thinking, man, should I choose my 33, make a 338 Winchester mag, and then keep, you know, my 223, or should I keep my 243 or whatever? This to me is a clear-cut, decisive. Ammo is available easily for the 22 long rifle, the 223 or the 5.56, the 300 WSM, the 12 gauge are all super common, all easy to get. They all work. They're all loaded by different manufacturers. These guns are mainstream guns, nothing super specialized, you know, so if you need parts or anything like that, easy to get, easy to obtain. And they work well, they don't just do these jobs, they do them all exceptionally well. I've had all different kinds of guns and used them for, you know, for this kind of class, for rabbits and stuff, for this one, for defense. You know, for rigging hunting, I've done all different hunting with calibers and different types of rifles and lengths and actions and all that stuff. And for me, this is what I like, the semi-auto for the 22, but I definitely like the bolt action for the big game rifle. Different jobs, and I think that these are best suited to, you know, what you're going to use them in and the roles that they need to flex in. So, but if you got something different to say, go ahead and put it in the comments or whatever. I'll try to get back to you. This is just what I use and what I know works for me, and I think would work for anyone in the entire world over any spectrum of game, in any spectrum of, you know, terrain or distance. If, you know, it doesn't matter if you're living in Czechoslovakia, New Zealand, Australia, Africa, China, Alaska, America, it doesn't matter. This will work for any class of game. You've got clear steps between everything, and you can get by with 3 rifles and 1 shotgun if you don't hunt dangerous game for everything. I mean, that's a big savings, you know. And if you're going to get good quality stuff, you can save yourself money by, you know, buying and trading and all that stuff, going through it. You know, just trust me, trust my experience. I mean, you're just taking my word for it, obviously, but I put this out there to try to maybe save people some time and some money and some frustration that I've gone through over the years of trying to sort all this out. So hopefully that helps anyone that's looking. But as always, you know, be respectful, and I'll be respectful of you. If you got something else to say or something different or a question or whatever, go ahead and ask, and I'll try to get back to you and let you know my thoughts on it. So I hope this was informative, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.